Look, it's a cigarette paper again between these teams, and it's going to be who turns up on the night. But the challenge New Zealand will pose is, it's different, but it's great.
And I tell you why I said that, because I think history does mean something here. You know, there is just New Zealand. Two things they expect. Even what's gone on the last 2 years, they expect to win quarterfinals of the World Cup, and they expect to beat Ireland. Right? That's a good starting point for them. As I said, their trajectory in this competition is going up. Their individual skill level is super strong. You can see the fingerprints of Joe Smith on them as well. Okay. So they're breaking teams down from first phase because they've analysed them so well. But are Ireland capable of delivering a performance that can beat New Zealand? Absolutely, categorically, yes, is the answer to that. They didn't, and Andy Farrell mentioned it, they didn't deliver a perfect performance there, or they haven't this World Cup. But if they deliver close to a perfect performance against New Zealand, they can certainly beat them. And as Rob has been saying over and over again, Ireland are laser focused on the quarter-final. That's their focus point.
And is it the weight of history that's just swinging you a touch towards the black side?
I think so. I think that's what it is. I think this New Zealand team is better than we saw either against the Springboks in the warm-up game, and there was a player off for that, and France. Certainly against France. They made some really fundamental mistakes. I hadn't seen a New Zealand team make as many basic mistakes as that, maybe ever, because in our era, New Zealand just didn't make mistakes, never drop the ball. Sometimes you think, how they retained the ball possession for so long without making mistakes. So I expect a higher level of performance than that. And if they deliver that, then it's difficult. It's going to be very difficult to beat this side.
And so one counterpoint, because if it wasn't you saying this, then I would have quoted Shane Horgan to you, to whoever you were in a parallel universe. Shane Horgan has said that this Irish team confounds the weight of history and confounds our expectations. So let's not worry about the weight of history.
Yeah, and listen, they are, with every passing game in this World Cup, with every performance, they are turning a page on history. And I really hope and pray that they do. But until they do, they're still shackled with that weight.
Okay.
Without doubt. And there's another layer to that. Do you think New Zealand want to get square with a green jersey?
Yeah.
Do you think New Zealand aren't humiliated, embarrassed about what Ireland did down in the Shaky Isles 2 years ago? Like the New Zealanders really want this game. Do you think Joe's not winding them up?
That's their icing on their
emotional cake. 100%.
New Zealand are licking their lips.
Yeah.
To play against.
Do you not think Ireland must be inside their heads a little bit?
Yeah,
they must be very fearful of Ireland.
But we've had so many conversations about which quarter-final opposition do we want? Do we want France? Do we want South Africa? Back and forth, back and forth. This has never been a question for New Zealand. We want Ireland in that quarter-final.
Oh, really?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
of course.
100%.
Listen, South Africa are scary.
We are relatively new into the conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
New Zealand never even thought about us. And I know we've done well against South Africa and Australia, but even in World Cup, New Zealand never rated us. First in the world, who are you talking to?
Yeah. They've hit the jackpot by getting us in the quarters.
Yeah.
That's how they see it.
In their minds,
But I do think the perception is changing, right? Now, it's definitely that we're perceived in a different way because we have to be for what's gone over the last 5 years. But bear in mind, we never beat them up until that. So they were dead right.
Yeah.
And Rob was on the team. He broke through, and so things changed slightly at that point, and they've changed more significantly since. But there is no doubt, Rob is 100% right. There is no doubt they think if they could have picked anyone, from that group, it would have been Ireland.
Okay, I was sort of asking Matt what type of game he expects. I guess a more pointed way of putting it is this is not going to be 13-8 that we saw between Ireland and South Africa. This will have tries.
Yeah, it will have a lot of tries. And Shane said earlier on that, talking about the South African defence and how it's the hardest one for Ireland to almost play against. New Zealand are pretty soft in their defence. They're not a super aggressive line speed. They'll show you the edges, but they'll hunt you down when you get there. They'll go hard at the breakdown in those 5-10 metre edge channels. Ireland will have a lot of ball to attack against them and will put them under a fair bit of pressure. I do think we'll see some joy attacking against them, but New Zealand are probably still the most lethal team in the competition, them and France, in terms of turnover ball. So if we kick in any way loosely, if we cough up any cheap possession, they will punish you.